Good morning. My name is Zrinka Stahuljak. I am professor of French and Comparative Literature and director of the CMRS Center for Early Global Studies here at UCLA. And it is really my pleasure to welcome you this morning to what is our first event and also a big event of the academic year 2023-2024. Allow me to begin the day's proceedings and this year with a few remarks about the center and about the work that we do before moving on to the particular work of the conference today and tomorrow. The work of generating alternative futures through the reinterrogation of the past, I believe, is the core mission of the CMRS Center for Early Global Studies. And it is central to our public commitment to global and planetary equity. To make this mission and commitment clear, in September 2021, the center underwent a transformation from the Center for Medieval and Renaissance Studies, CMRS, its name for 58 years from 1963 to 2021, to the Center for Early Global Studies, or CEGS. These intentional and necessary changes to the center's core, driven by decades-long advancement within our fields and disciplines, have quickly borne extraordinary results, and it is my honor to share some of them with you at the start of this academic year. On July 1st, the center was awarded a $1 million Mellon Foundation grant for a new initiative, Race in the Global Past Through Native Lenses. While I act as principal investigator of the grant, I have an invaluable partner in Professor Shannon Speed, who is director of the UCLA American Indian Studies Center. The 3-year award will support a substantive collaboration between UCLA and California Native and Indigenous communities. Its goals include elevating Native American, Pacific Islander, and other indigenous scholarship on historical articulations of race and indigeneity across the globe. And it is supporting efforts to recruit and retain indigenous faculty at UCLA. Now, to do so, the grant funds the research of scholars in residence, faculty, students, community advisors, postdoctoral fellows, and tribal managers of the UCLA Fowler Museum, who will compare and co-learn the historical articulations of race in different parts of the globe in the period broadly defined as pre-colonial and early colonial. This grant fulfills the promise of a research center dedicated to early global studies because it honors the center's existence on the shores of the Pacific and on indigenous lands whose histories and cultures long preceded the arrival of European colonizers and settlers. And CMRS CEGS respectfully acknowledges our presence on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples. As a land grant institution, we pay our respects to the Hunukwetam, Ahihiram, and Eyuhinkam, past, present, and emerging. The second major development is a gift of $552,000 from Arcadia, a charitable fund that works to protect nature, preserve cultural heritage, and promote open access to knowledge. This gift allows us to establish the John W. Baldwin Postdoctoral Fellowship at the UCLA CMRS CEGS. Over a period of 5 years and starting in July 2024, the center will welcome 3 and possibly up to 5 new scholars completing fellowships in European and global comparative medieval studies. Both these fundraising successes answer questions that many have asked and have asked me personally. What does early global mean? What is global before globalization? I'm proud to say that, as with any name, it is not so much what it says, but what is done with it, and how the research and scholarship subsequently inflect the resonance of that name. Before there was a European definition of global based on the historical fact of a completed European circumnavigation in 1521, 1522, many regions of the world were global and interconnected. Early global encompasses all of the world's regional diversities under the temporal purview of our center from the 3rd to the 17th century, which means multiple and comparative globalities. rather than a vision of a uniform and single globe. That is, an early global world as a constellation of multiple forms of life, whose premise is not a presumed planetary connectivity post-1522. The premise of CEGS is neither spatial nor temporal connectivity, but multiple globalities of early periods, as well as epistemological and methodological connectivities that contemporary scholarship affords us. These are just some of the ways of understanding early global, which do not exclude Europe, another question, or perhaps a fear that has been expressed. They do not exclude Europe, but rather, I believe, strengthen the state of our fields. In line with these developments, I'm very happy to welcome Professor Sixian Wang of Asian Languages and Cultures here at UCLA to the role of CEGS Associate Director for this academic year. Since this is our first event of the year, I'm also very pleased to introduce to you two new staff members to the center who joined us this summer, Santera Palmer, our new communication specialist, and Alejandra Gonzalez Quiros, Humanities Conference Room and Special Projects Coordinator. And in March, Ting Nguyen, our event manager, joined the team. And let me acknowledge that there is no center to this center and no future present or past to any conference without my dedicated assistant director, Karen Burgess, who leads this wonderful team, young team, I think the most amazing team of any center on campus. And I should not forget to mention Alison McCann, who is our publications manager and therefore the keeper of every written record that we publish. Our activities continue to be driven by our faculties and associate members' innovative research and diverse methodologies, from conferences to research group meetings and workshops. And I am therefore grateful to Professor Tom Barton for his great commitment and tireless and collegial energy in organizing this international and interdisciplinary conference on the Western Mediterranean and the global Middle Ages. With it, he helps us deliver another of CMRS's promises to support equally early career, mid-career, and senior researchers. So thank you, and I now welcome Professor Sixian Wang to the podium.